Hello there everybody, my name is Suwasha. Today I will be showing you how to make an ice cream photo. As you can see here, these are some of my older photos. I did some of these for my casino games. For my refreshments, I like to have a little bit something other than what they show in the game. Video poker, stuff along that line. Men and women's restrooms. In my arcades to have a little something different on the screens. You know, I like pizza and hot dog and hamburgers, and this is for the casino. That's the logo for the casino. I'm a very big novice with Minecraft, but I am learning a few things. This is my Monopoly board for the casino game, or the slot machine for Monopoly. It's one of my favorites when I would go. My first video I ever uploaded was a tour of my first solo build, which was my casino. You can probably see that in my page if you're on it. This is only my second video in my first tutorial, so yes, it's going to be sloppy. It's not going to be the best, but I'm going to do my best for you in hopes that you guys can add a little flavor to your builds in Minecraft. This is one of my favorite things to do. This was my very first one. How I ended up getting the idea for this, trying to make a stop sign for my city. I've got a huge city. I'll give you a little look at the map. That is my city right now. 90% of my builds are from a gentleman by the name of TSMC. He is one of my favorite and easiest to follow builders. You should look him up. He's got some amazing builds. I've got a cartoon world from him. I've got some medieval stuff. I've got a bunch of different stuff. And of course, I've got my first solo build, which is this massive block here. This is my casino. And excuse me. Sorry. But that was inspired by some of his builds, and Almost Addicted is also one of my favorite. Weirder Dude. There's a couple of them. I'm still noob to this, so I need somebody that does block to block. But, you know, I got my little theme park. Got the main city here with, like I said, 90% of my builds from TSMC. Right now, that ice cream that you see, I'm going to be using here to my ice cream shop so that I have more than just snow to put on the wall to show that I'm selling ice cream. This is one of them inspired by TSMC. You know, so that is what I'm going to be working on right now. If there are others that you would like to see, you know, me do a tutorial on, just mark it in the comments and I'll see what I could do. You could send me some pixel art. That's what I go by, because as you can tell by my sloppy writing on the side of that pixel art, I am not artistically, I'm artistically challenged. So this is all new to me. But without further ado, let me show you how to set this up. Okay. Now, in order to get your canvas, I've got one already made, but I'm going to show you how it's done. Basically, you're going to take a map. This is a map of the area. You can see me moving around. And you're going to take yourself to the very edge of the map where you can actually be seen on the map. And you are going to start putting some stones down. Now, you see that there's some green behind that stone? You want to cover up the entire green area on your map. Excuse me. Okay, so you know that this is going to be the border of your map. You are basically going to, I usually use white concrete, but I've got quartz in my inventory from the build that we're about to do. But you're going to basically want to keep going down until you get to the point where you're at the very bottom of your map. Now, I'm not going to do that with you, but that is basically what you're looking for. And I'm going to make this video a little bit shorter by coming over here to where I've already have it set up. Your borders are going to be 128 by 128. And to make it easier on me to center my pixel art, those numbers that you see, that pixel art is 34 tall by 19 wide. And me, I usually put a 2-block black border around my drawings, which I do at the end. But because I do that, I'm not going to do my math based on the 128. Now, if you don't want a border, you would be doing your math by the 128 to find out how big your squares need to be. So, first off, you want to find the center, which your center from the corners, like from this corner, if you go 64 up and then 63 to the center, that's going to take you to this block right here. Okay, so these 4 squares are going to be your center of this whole canvas. Okay, that is very important because it gives you a basis on where to start your pixel art so that it's centered as much as it can be. Because it's an even number high, it's not necessarily going to be centered top to bottom. You're going to be about 1 block off or so, but you're not really going to be able to tell that much. Now, because of the fact that this is 34 as the biggest width or height, you're going to take that. I usually divide it by, or divide 120 by 34 so that I have a little bit of borders on my builds. You can make the background whatever colors you want. I choose white concrete for my advertisement photos. One of the other important things to do, let me get rid of this other map, is to get out a map and make sure your character is facing north. That is one thing I almost always forget with these builds, is to make sure that I am facing north. The reason you do this is so that when you put your maps down, you're not going to have to turn them 15 million times just to place them properly. But if you're always looking north when you place them, they will place properly. All right, so let's get started. Oops. I chose for my build to do black concrete for the outline, brown concrete for the chocolate, smooth quartz for the white, smooth sandstone for the vanilla, and strawberry, I chose pink concrete. Now, I have not picked a cone color yet. I will have to figure that one out. I like to use concrete. I'll probably just use yellow concrete because I don't want to contrast too much with the brown. But let me get rid of this just because that was just to remind myself to start north. I started this video once, and because I didn't start building it north, I had to start over. Okay, so I had determined that my square that is going to start off is going to be a 3 by 3. So every 3 by 3 square is going to equal to 1 square in the pixel art. So we already know that's a 2 by 2 there. And this is where I'm going to have to off-center it a little bit. So I'll add 1 row here, so it's a 2 by 3, and then add 1 row up here. Now I have a 3 by 3 square. That is the square that is in my vanilla with the blue dot on it. Me personally, I like to use World Edit a lot. I'm going to try not to use too much World Edit on this, but I'm going to use it a little bit for like my borders and filling in the chocolate and stuff like that towards the end. But I like to do start off with the outlines. So we already know that there's going to be 1 black square next to this vanilla. So that's a 3 by 3 square. Me, I like to, when I'm doing this, I like to kind of keep track. You can go diagonal to make sure you're doing your 3 squares. 1, 2, 3. There's 1 underneath that one, so I'm going to do that one. Now this next one is going to go diagonal because vanilla goes here. So 1, 2, 3, and it's also 2 wide. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, and then I know just to fill this area in here. And I've got my 2 dots, or my 2 squares. It goes diagonally up again, 1, 2, 3, so that's 1 square. And it goes diagonally, or it goes straight up by 4. So that's 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4 squares. Come over to the 3 squares, and then just fill her in. I apologize if this is hard to follow. And I did something wrong there, sorry. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay. So I went down a little too far on that one, but you got 4 3x3 squares. I apologize. This is all new to me. I will get better eventually, I promise, with practice, but I'm a little nervous and a little sick. Okay. So, excuse me. From that area, so you got your 4 up. You're going to go diagonal here. 1. And then down and 1 over. And the best part about this is you can kind of check your work with your map. So you can kind of see the outline that I'm drawing in comparison to the dots over there. And how you feel that you want to do this, you can do this each by just every square touching, or you know, whatever you want to do on a case like that. But me, I prefer the outline so I can world edit all the inside stuff and it goes by a little quicker. So. Okay, so we are here. This kind of does an L shape, so you know it's connected here. That's the second one, and then the third one up. Okay, and then it's going to go over one, still connected, so. And then this is where we're going to start doing the diagonal for the strawberry. This is the bottom 2 for the strawberry. So 1, 2, 3, and it goes 4 up. So 1, 2, 3, that's 2. 1, 2, 3, that's 3. 1, 2, 3, that's 4. Do my little 3s here and connect them. Now, if you accidentally miscount, most of the time it does not matter. But it helps a lot if you have the proper counts, because that'll make it centered, and that'll make sure that everything is matching up properly. So, all right, so this is our 4 up. We are going to go diagonally out 1 more. 1, 2, 3, and that one goes 3 up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Fill it in. This is a lot of work, but to me it really adds to the builds. So to me it's worth it. Might not be worth it to you, or especially something as trivial as ice cream, but you know, just in case you're like me and you're devil for the details. So okay, so that's the 3 up. Now we've got to go 2 up. So 1, and it's diagonal inside. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then it's going to be 1 diagonal up, and then diagonal up by 1, and then over by 1. And I apologize again if I'm going too fast. I'm going to do a lot of apologizing in this because, like I said, I'm new, but you know, perhaps if you guys want to see more and I end up doing more, I'll probably get better at it. But I've never done a recorded thing in my life except for my tour. And so, yeah, I'm nervous. Okay, so the next one and the very top thing in this build is going to be 3 by 3 square diagonal. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 plus the first one that I did. So that's 3. Fill it in. Oops. And if you look at your map, you're kind of seeing the outline of the strawberry. And you can kind of see how much of a border that I have because I chose to do 3 by 3. So, all right, so from here, the next thing's going to be a diagonal down, and then 1 over. Oops. So, fill it in. Then it's a single diagonal down. And then you're going to do a diagonal down and then 1 down. Okay, this one's going to be like an L shape, but I'm only going to do it, I like to do just a little at a time. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 down. Okay, and then connected, you're going to do 1 over. Okay, now this is where it's going to get tricky because you're going off in a couple different directions. It's going to be another L shape, so we're going to do the, since it goes actually 3 down, we're going to do that 1, 2, 3. Fill that in. Now, this is where it gets tricky. In the middle of that, it's going to start branching off. So I would count 1, 2, 3, and then from the 4th block, I would go 1, 2, 3, because of course that's 3 on both sides, and that makes this the middle block. So that one goes over 1. Now, I'm going to leave the side of the vanilla alone and finish the strawberry. So from this block here, it's going to go over 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Fill that in. Okay, then it goes diagonally up 1, 2, 3, and it goes 2 over. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and of course fill it in. Okay, connected to it, it's going to go down 2 more because this is the first one. It's actually 3 down, but this is the first one. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That makes 2. Best part about using the pixel art is that you can kind of tell when you mess up if it doesn't match up when you go to do your connections. So this one is diagonal by 1 and then 1 over. And people, I love constructive criticism because that's the only way I'm going to grow. I don't plan on making a big thing about doing some buildings, but I just do like to share a little bit of stuff. So no telling how often you'll see me on here, but if it's something I can help with, I'm very noob to all of this, Minecraft included. I've only been playing Minecraft a bit over a year. So, yeah, I'm definitely not claiming to be any kind of pro and have a lot to learn and a lot to build with. And anything that could be helpful to me, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so I kind of lost my place there. Okay, I'm at that two below on the strawberry curve. So I go 1 more up diagonally. Okay, and then 1 more up from that. And then it's going to be 2 diagonal down, or 1 diagonal down and then 1 straight down. And as you can see, we perfectly match up to the rest of the build that we made, but that finishes off your strawberry. And again, you kind of just take a look at your map and you can kind of see where you're at and what you're doing, and how everything's going on it. So the strawberry is done outside of the filling it in and doing your little white spots. In fact, I'll go ahead and take a second break and kind of do this white spot. The way you do your white spot is you find this block here. This is a single towards the top, and you can kind of see it in the picture. It's going to be a diagonal, and it's actually going to be a 4-block radius, so I would just do 6 diagonal and then fill in the surroundings. Every person is different with their methods, what works for them and what doesn't. So my method is what works best for me. You'll have to find your niche on the easiest way for you to count your blocks and stuff like that. So that's that white block there. Now the other white block, you go 1 diagonal down is going to be strawberry, and then excuse me, 1, 2, 3. So that's the strawberry, and then starting here is going to be your white block. Now, when I first started out, I would actually place the strawberry at that moment just so that I could count my blocks out, but I've gotten used to doing all this stuff, so I could kind of skip ahead of that method, but it's up to you what you choose to do. Now, I'm going to start the outline of the vanilla. So we're going to go back over to this block here, and that's that L shape sticking out. I wish that I knew how to allow myself to manipulate or show you the cursor of the pointing at the place on the drawing, but unfortunately I'm not very good with all that stuff. So in fact, let me see if it took me a while just to get the picture up on the map at all. Yeah, it's not going to let me manipulate the photo. I don't know how to do that part, so I apologize for that. But eventually I'll learn. I just downloaded this program yesterday, so I have not learned very much about it. But okay, so from here, you're going to go diagonal and then down 1. So we're going to do that outline and fill it in. Okay. You're going to go out 1 more. And this one is going to go down 2. 3, 1, 2, 3. And then fill it in. You're going to come in diagonal and down 2. Okay. You're going to come, let's see, diagonal in 1 more. Hold on. Let me see where I'm at. So there's your 3, there's your 2. Okay, so diagonal 1 inside. Come outwards diagonal, down, and then down 1. Okay, diagonal this way 1. And it's going to go across 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 3 in total. Now again, this one has one of those ones that in the center it kind of goes downwards. So we're going to make that mark just so that we know where we're at. So skip 3 and then do your diagonal down. Or I'm sorry, your straight down. That's the starting of the chocolate. But we are going to finish off where we're at because we're close to closing off the vanilla. So this is going to be 2 up at an angle or diagonal. And then it is going to be diagonal up 1. Ooh, and I think I might be off just a little, so let me see what I did wrong. Because if I'm not mistaken, this should be here. It's a little confusing sometimes, so let me figure out what I did wrong. Oh, I see it. Okay, I apologize. I missed the single diagonal here. So when you're coming up, you have that one single diagonal, and then you do the 2 up. I'm so sorry. Okay, now we've got it. So this is kind of what we're looking at. And of course, you can see it on your map. That is your vanilla, completely filled out. And I'm again going to take the moment to fill in the white spots, just so that those can be completed. So, oops. Let me get my quartz out. The easiest way to do these white spots is to find this section right here below the strawberry. And at this corner here, you skip 1. So that's skip 3 on the 4th block, place 1 and go 6 over, 5 down, and then fill it in. That's your little four square with your 3x3s, and then skip 1 here, 1, 2, 3, and then it's just a 3x3 here. And your little white spots in your vanilla are done. Excuse me. Okay. Now we have 2 options. We could start at the top here where this little L is and do that. I think that's where I'm going to start, just because there's more filler needing to do for the chocolate, and we can meet up easily at the other end. So find the L shape on the left hand side of the build, right at the top of the chocolate and bottom of the vanilla. From there, you're going to go out 1, 2, 3, and go down 2. Or, I'm sorry, go down 1. So fill that in. Okay. Go diagonal down 1, 2, 3. Oh, did I count that wrong? Let me see. 1. Yeah, I added 1 extra. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3. And then kind of fill that in. Oh, no, I guess I didn't count wrong. Let me double check this one, because saying too many numbers at a time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so I was right. Okay, so 3x3. So you got your 3 down. Then we come over to here. It's going to go diagonal and then down 1. So diagonal 1, down 1. Okay. Diagonal 1 this way. Now this is going to be the center block to another weird thing. So I like to make it easy on myself. I do my top block here first. And then from here, it's going to go down 3 more. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then the overs. And then fill them in. Okay, so we got that weird one. We're going to do another weird one that starts off for the cone. So it's going to be 2 over from this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And just to make it easy on myself, since I know this is where the bottom one's going to start, I'm just going to go ahead and, so that I don't have to do the counting later, mark it out, since I know that's the middle block here, and then I'm going to fill this in. Again, little tricks that just make the build go a little bit quicker for you. might confuse a few people, and I apologize if it does. And just to finish it off, I'm going to go ahead and build the second one down, just so that that line is done. But I'm going to continue back up here to finish off our chocolate. So from this block here, we're at that weird T towards the bottom of the build. You can kind of see it there. So you're going to go diagonally up from this 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to go up one more, 1, 2, 3. Fill it in. Then you're going to go diagonally up 1. Fill it in. Diagonally down, and then down, straight down 1. Fill her in. Okay. Diagonally down, and over 1. Fill it in. And then let's see where we're at. Okay, we are on the we're on that one. So here's the diagonally over. All right, I was looking at the vanilla for a second. I apologize, everybody. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 up to make 2 straight up or diagonally up from there. And then this is where it gets a little tricky again. So I'm going to make my first diagonal up. It's going to go over 1, 1, 2, 3. And then here's where it's going to actually go down by 3 more. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then fill that in. Okay, and towards the top, you're going to go down 1, 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Let me do it from this side. 1, 2, 3 on the 4th block. You're going to do your square here. And then you're going to come back up to here where we had that other T, and it goes down 1 more, so it's going to connect that way. And your chocolate is now outlined. There's no white colors in the chocolate, so we don't have to worry about that. Now all we've got to do is finish off the cone. I'm going to start over here at this weird T that we made over here. It's going to have a diagonal down, and it's going to go down 1 extra, so fill that in. And then another diagonal. Okay, so that's the T, 1, 2, so 1 more diagonal double down. And then at the bottom, we're just going to tip it off with a single diagonal. And then basically we're going to do doubles upwards until it reaches the rest of the build. And if all did correctly, which I can make no promises, it should connect back to that part of the build on its own. Oops. And this should be the last one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Yay! All right, so basically all that is literally left is to fill in. And just for those of you that prefer it, this being my first tutorial, I am going to go ahead and do this with you. I chose the yellow concrete for my cone. So basically I fill in the yellow concrete part, and I'm not even going to use world edit. I'm going to be nice and just kind of sit and talk to you guys for a minute. Of course, with me being nervous, that could be some weird stuff, but hey, you know. But just a little about myself. I just recently got into Minecraft, and I'm a very novice builder. I can't help it. I like to think outside the box, but I'm also one of those folks that symmetrical stuff is really important to me. And so when I first started stuff, I had to do squares, and I had to, yeah, so I basically built in a big city using other people's tutorials. Again, as I said, my two favorite are Almost Addicted and TSMC. They have inspired me. There's several others, and eventually I'll give us, when I get my signs made for whose builds are what, I will give a tour of my city. But I'm trying to do a special sign because they deserve it. They're pretty awesome. And but in doing all these outside of the box builds, especially with the modern stuff, I have learned a little bit of my own. My first video I uploaded was a tour of my casino, which of course I am not big on trying to squeeze a lot of stuff into tiny builds, so I kind of went a little too big on it when I was making it. Totally freehand, didn't map it out, just kind of started building and stuff along that line, and to me it didn't turn out too bad for a first build. There's a lot of stuff I could still add and a lot of stuff that doesn't look the greatest, but for being novice and, you know, kind of just starting out on my own, I think I did pretty good. And of course, coming up with the ideas for this to add a little bit of flavor, I think, you know, kind of just took the atmosphere a little bit better. I made a Wheel of Fortune game. I made a Monopoly board game for the slots. I made different pictures like Zelda and happy faces and stuff for the slot machine faces, so that it wasn't just Minecraft items that you had to get creative with. I made some food for posting on the buffet line, and you know, it's just, again, I'm novice, and every little thing helps, you know. So I appreciate any kind of feedback, and I do hope you guys are enjoying this. You know, it's just a little addition that I think adds spice to any kind of build that you're doing. Yes, it's like a build of its own and can be a pain in the butt, but at the same time, you know, it just depends on how masterful you want your builds to be. So, you know, it's just basically up to you guys on how you guys want to make this appear or make your builds happen. Towards the beginning of building other people's stuff, I was scared to death to change anything of their builds. I was scared I would ruin it. I'm not even gonna lie. And then after building so many of them, I've gotten to the point, especially since for a while there, TSMC didn't do interiors a lot. And I am terrible with interior ideas. I really am. But he started doing a couple of them, and after he did a few of them, I got a few ideas, and I'm still terrible with interior, but I at least can make it look decent. Almost Addicted has done some amazing ideas for me for modern builds, using carpet as shelving, stuff along that line. I also very much like to hide lighting. I can't stand seeing torches and lanterns and any kind of lighting out in the open if I can help it, except for, you know, the lamps or something that I want to add in order to add to the build. And so I tend to, like when I made my casino, I purposely made it to where all of the floors had the ability for a double floor. That way I could put sea lanterns in the ground and carpet above them for lighting, hidden lighting, and then slabs of whatever block I'm using underneath to create the ceiling of the roof below. Um, and that way I did not have to put a whole lot of, now because it was a high build, I did have to put ceiling lanterns and stuff like that, or ceiling lights, but I, tried to make those a little fancy, it being a casino. Whenever I do outside builds, I put a lot of bushes. It adds to the build, but it also makes it to where I could put sea lanterns or glowstone or something underneath the bushes for some hidden lighting outside. And so, it just really adds a little touch without having to put torches all over the place and take away from the build. Now, when I build, as you can tell, it hasn't gotten dark or anything like that. That little icon in the right of my screen is a flashlight plug-in, and it basically makes it daytime all the time, so I don't have to worry about it. But usually at the end of my builds, after I've done all my hidden lighting, I will go through and whatever lighting, turn that off and then find out where I need to still add some lighting and go from there. Sometimes if the wall allows it, I will put lighting behind paintings, just different stuff that are transparent enough that they'll shine through. The lighting will shine through. End rods for my lamps. I make the base of the lamp, and then I can use whatever black I want for the lampshade. So it's just different creative stuff that I've learned from different people or figured out on my own, inspired by different people. And I'm not sure how long it'll be before I do another build of my own, because I'm not very good at planning out, which is why my casino ended up being almost 12 maps wide. Go big, go home, I guess. But it also took me about two to 3 weeks to do exterior, interior, all of the above. And of course, taking my break to do my signs like this for each of the builds. The Monopoly board was a massive project. I had to pull up a picture of the Monopoly board and then guess my figures. And that was not fun because, again, I have no artistic ability. Math is not my favorite subject. So it gets complicated for me. And being a natural blonde from California originally, that doesn't help. Then living quite a while in the South, kind of dumbing me down again, No offense to anybody in the South, I'm just picking, but I've got a lot of strikes against me, so. But I'm getting there. I do have creative juices. They just have to be inspired sometimes. So basically, I'm doing the vanilla. I'll have the strawberry. For those of you that stay to the end, I'll go ahead and show you me placing these out so that you can see the finished product in its place. And I do plan on making like 3 to 4 different ice creams, and I might record them, and if people are interested in them, I'll post them as I'll probably just record for the heck of it and then go from there. Again, I'm new to the tutorial, so I'm not sure how fun I am to watch. But you at least learn enough to where you can figure this stuff out on your own and let your creative minds go to work as well. Some of the bigger builds that are pixel art that's bigger than 128 squares, of course you're gonna have to determine how many maps you're gonna have to use to make them, and it's just a little neat technique. And I'm very happy to have found out about it. I don't even remember how I found out about it or what inspired me to do it. But, you know, just kind of I think somebody was showing me how to do like they didn't really show me, they just told me to use a map to do like a pink bedspread where you could see it on the sides or something like that of the bed using a map. And I kind of took off from it from there. So, you know, we got some amazing people that do videos for little tricks and trades to make furniture and stuff along that line. I made myself a mall and kind of found some of my favorite ideas for doing videos, and did me a oh, I forgot some of the chocolate over here, but I ended up doing a furniture store and taking some of my favorite builds and making a window where you could look in the window and see room ideas and stuff like that. And so a couple people that play on my mini server, they kind of go shopping there every once in a while to get ideas for their houses and stuff. As far as people on my server, got one guy, one of my besties. He likes to do the survival stuff and not much of the building, even though he does kind of do the buildings. And so he does basic buildings, kind of like when I first started off. He wants purpose over creativity, I guess is what you could call it, because he just wants to get it done. And since he's doing a lot of it in survival and stuff, you know, he just wants what he has to get by. And then you've got another friend of mine who's really into the traps and the redstone and stuff. He likes to do different redstone traps, hidden bases, stuff along that line. And he's really new to the building on Minecraft too. So he's like me, he does it in creative. Me, I can't stop building. I try to, aside from when I took a break for my build, I was pretty much doing about 4 builds a day of other people's builds. And, you know, I just enjoy the building. It works my mind. And when you're a natural blonde and all those strikes I already had against me, you know, working my mind is a very important thing. And, you know, it's not stressful in any way, shape, or form. That's what got me into Minecraft, is that I could just get away from life for a little while. But, you know, I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have anything like that. But who knows? Maybe one day this stuff will go and a lot of people can, you know, figure out. I mean, I'm other than watching YouTube, I really don't know what I'm doing posting my videos, so I don't know what to hashtag them or any of that stuff yet. So maybe one day I'll get a few people that enjoy it. And you know, hey, if you like what you see and you want to take a guided tour someday, just I'll leave my Discord and stuff in the description, and my channel, and you know, stuff along that line, just to kind of give you an idea of how to reach me if there's something that you may want to say or see. Or I'm a very personal person and love to meet new people, so you know, I'll do my best to answer everything back. You know, getting in on the ground floor is a wonderful thing sometimes, because then, you know, you get even more of that personal touch, because I ain't got very many people talking to them yet. But yeah, hopefully this will all be something wonderful. I'll even leave the link in my thing for the ice cream shop in case you guys want to build an ice cream shop with TSMC for this ice cream picture to go into. You know, like I said, I tend to nowadays I tend to take people's builds and then kind of change them around to my likings, because there are some things, some blocks that I prefer more than others. There's, you know, a couple of changes I like to make. I tend to like water fountains and, you know, just some stuff that I'm not good at, even with the tutorial, like making fake trees and stuff along that line. When they say, yeah, just go crazy with the leaves. Yeah, my leaves never turn out right. So I tend to avoid that and add my own touches other ways. And we are almost done, and I'm probably sure you're ready for me to stop babbling. It's kind of weird when you're sitting here talking to yourself. You don't want to go completely quiet, because that's even more boring, I think, although rambling, I guess, can be boring too. But, you know, maybe it'll help you teach or learn a little bit more about me. And just maybe we could become friends. Seriously, I'm just a goofball. I am me. Don't know how to be anybody else. You know, I have my social aspects, and then I have my solo aspects, and I'm kind of midway in between, so I'm kind of getting out of my shell again by doing these videos. Used to be a really social person, but, you know, life kind of gets in the way of that sometimes, and you just need a little bit of time to unwind and only worry about yourself for a while. So you tend to get the antisocial thing. But I am breaking out of that again. And yes, I am a goofball. I admit it. I am proud of it. And voila, everybody, we are done with our ice cream. And as you can see, it looks delicious. Now, you could do a border. You don't have to do a border. I'm going to go ahead and quickly do a border with some World Edit. I like to do it at the end, because then I can determine exactly how wide I want the border just based on how close it is to the borders here. But I just tossed one block down, and then I'm going to make this 3 wide, because we're doing a 3 by 3, and I really don't want it to crouch up to it too much. So it's basically going to be like one square wide. And then just keep going down and adding my blocks. And I love World Edit. People of World Edit are amazing for the things that they've created in this plugin. For lazy folks like me, it is the most amazing thing. And so hands up to those at World Edit. And of course, this will end my barrier. And of course, you want to update your map. See how it just adds a nice little border around it so that it looks kind of like a framed picture. You could thicken it up to where it squeezes in a little bit, but it's an advertisement, so I just kind of want it like that. You can change the color of the white concrete to whatever you want. You know, it's entirely up to you. Now, depending upon what version you're using, you would either use a crafting table for this, or you would use a cartographer's table for it. You're going to want to get out some glass. You're going to, a regular glass pane. You're going to want to come off the screen of the map. Make sure your map is completely open up, because we're about to lock this map so that when I change the picture next time, it's not going to automatically update. With the cartography poster, you put the map in there with the glass pane, and it will lock it. That way, if you make any changes to this map anymore, like if I delete that, it's not going to delete off of my map here. So definitely don't want to end up having whatever your last build is if you do like I do and keep these inside your world just to have easy access and not have to build your platforms anymore. You're definitely going to want to have to where it's not going to delete your maps. Okay, now I'm going to want to go ahead and grab me an item frame. And I'm going to go on back to my previous location because this is my, this is where I add all my things for anybody who's building in my worlds to be able to get a copy of each of the builds first off. Oops, and I don't know what happened there, but that's all right. All right, now I'm going to go over to my ice cream shop. And we are going to place the masterpiece down. I will, oops, don't want to put it on the cartography table. Don't want to put the empty map. Okay, so now I've got my first ice cream to be sold. You can put a sign next to it with the price, which I don't tend to do. I just kind of do my little advertisements like that so everybody knows what's there. I may make a menu board around it eventually once I decide how many ice creams I'm going to be making, stuff along that line. But basically, that's my work put in place. Oh, and since I have an ice cream truck, I'm going to also put one as an advertisement on the outside of my ice cream truck. So, there you go. I hope you all enjoyed it. And just put in the comments something that you might want to see. Send me some pixel art on Discord or in the comments, and I'll see what I can find out for you or do for you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and I will catch you on the flip side.